more in my back than I feel in my legs. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to explain it to you here in a second. First of all, I want to just explain the difference between a deadlift and a squat. So a deadlift is really predominantly a hip hinge pattern. So the cue we use is to think about sitting back with your hips, driving your hips back. Now, again, I'm not leaning forward. I'm not talking about a stiff-legged deadlift. I'm sitting back in my hips, making a hinge. My knees bend, but they just bend really to let me get my bum back further. A squat is a little more sitting, still sitting back in our hips, but we keep our chest up nice and tall. There's a little more contribution from the quads in that, and more contribution from the glutes and the hamstrings with the deadlift. Now, I have a confession to make. So I haven't straight bar deadlifted forever, and the reason is because it puts so much load on your back. You can't deadlift heavy and properly, or heavy without putting high loads on your low back. And I was traveling last week, and the gym I was at didn't have a hex bar, which I'll show you in a second, just had a straight bar. I had deadlifts in my workout, so I was like, how much could it hurt? And it kind of tweaked my back doing it a little bit. But basically, this is why we don't deadlift. So we will pick it up nice and tall, but watch what happens when I come forward. I have to hold this position to pass my knees, and then I can kind of trace my shins. So watch as I come up again, I'm tracing my shins, but I have to hold this forward angle until I clear my knees. I can't just come straight out of it, otherwise I'm going to hit my knees on the way up. So you have to sort of hang out there for a bit where there's quite a bit of load on your lumbar spine, and that's where you get into trouble. So this is a tool that we use at the gym here, and I actually had to get one with longer pegs because our guys were putting so many plates on them. So these are just training plates, dummy plates, to show you what it'll look like. But it's a hex bar or a trap bar. So here, and then see how I can just come straight up, keep my nice pattern. I don't have to worry about clearing my knees. So that's our preferred way to do it in the gym. But not everybody has one of those. So in the Turning Pro coaching program, when I design programs for people that I don't train in Revolution, I train them online, they live all over the world, they'll say, well, I don't have a hex bar. You can do it with dumbbells, which is what I went to at the hotel gym after I my back didn't feel so good after trying the straight bar once. And that works, but I actually like this version more. So it's a landmine, so it's just a straight barbell coming out here. I have the attachment that the bar slides into, but you don't need it at all. I'm going to stand forward so that the end of the bar is about in the middle of my foot. You can play around with it and see what's going to work best for you. But we usually start with a forward reach, sitting back in our bum, and then just dropping our hands down to grab the bar just above the collar. And then again here, it's just, I come up nice and tall, I sit back with my bum. Drive up nice and tall, sitting back with my bum. So I use that hip hinge pattern as I go. And I think about squeezing my butt, and I think about bringing my hips right underneath me. See, lots of our athletes in the gym, when they get to the top, they kind of stay like that a little bit. Bring your hips back right underneath you, but you don't need to do a big extension like that. So, to recap, deadlifts are a great exercise to build strength in your glutes, your hamstrings. You also will build some strength in your low back because you have to maintain that stability while you do a hip hinge pattern. So that's great to learn. Straight bar deadlift is a challenge because you have to hold this position while you clear your knees, which puts a lot of torque on your back. So yeah, we don't like that so much. Unless if you're a power lifter where deadlift is actually one of your exercises, then obviously you're going to do it with a straight bar. We use the trap bar or the hex bar at Revolution. It's our go-to resource. But I also really like this landmine deadlift, and we use it. You can load it up nicely. You know, almost any high school gym or local fitness center is going to have that a straight bar that you can use for your deadlifts that way. So that's all I got for you. Hey, I got a new thing starting a new private Facebook group. It's free to join. It's at Goalie Training Lab on Facebook, Goalie Training Lab. Just go over there, ask to join. I'll add you in. I'm going to give you some access to some info that I don't post on my blog or on my regular Facebook pages, and we'll sort of build a little community over there. So just head on over, check it out. I will see you next time. Cheers.